Chapter 3, Part 3, Description of Brahmakamala flowers. Sri Palniswami, in reply to my query, extended his merciful looks on me and said, Sri Mahavishnu worshipped Sadashiv with Brahmakamalas. That which was mentioned as the lotus springing from the navel of Sri Mahavishnu is also Brahmakamala. If Sri Datta is worshipped with lotus flowers, material and spiritual wealth will be achieved. As replicas of the Brahmakamalas in the celestial world, Brahmakamalas are found on earth in the Himalayas at an altitude of 12,000 feet. These blossoms bloom once a year. My son, they bloom only during midnight. This is another wonder. When it blooms, an excellent fragrance wafts over the entire area. All the great spiritual aspirants in the Himalayas eagerly wait for days and months to witness this rare spectacle. The flowers remain buried in snow from autumn to spring season. In the beginning of Chaitra month, the flowers spring out of the snow. The process of blooming takes place during the entire summer. The flowers fully bloom during midnight by the time of Shravana Suddha Purnima. It is at this time that the snowy Shivlinga of Amarnath becomes visible. My dear Shankara, this wonderful miracle takes place now and forever for the benefit of spiritual seekers, great sages and siddhas living in the Himalayas. All sins get destroyed by looking at the Brahmakamalas. Obstacles to yoga cease. This miracle confers instantaneous results. Therefore, yogis and ascetics attain higher status in their respective paths. After it blooms, the Brahmakamala flower disappears after all those who were destined to see it had completely seen it. My son Shankara, I want to remain in complete penance for 10 days. If any distressed people come here, yourself and Madhava have to arrange for their darshan without causing disturbance to my deep meditation. If any deed, one beaten by a snake, is brought here, tell the people who brought the body as my order that they should leave the body in the waters for the river or that they should bury the corpse in the earth. Sri Palniswami seated there went into a samadhi through penance. Madhava and I were arranging his darshan to distressed devotees in a calm manner. Some of the devotees supplied us with food materials. Madhava said that he would start cooking with the fallen branch of a coconut tree nearby. I agreed. Madhava went with another person, as irony of fate would have it, a cobra hiding behind the buff of the coconut tree had bitten Madhava when he lifted the coconut branch to carry it. 3 persons brought Madhava to the cave. As the command of Swami cannot be violated, I buried the body of Madhava. People of that place cooperated with me. I soaked Madhava's pure heart, pure devotion, and unshakable faith on Sri Pada Shivallabha came to my mind, and I became very much perturbed. I consoled myself that destiny could not be avoided. After this sad incident, I witnessed another unfortunate incident. The relatives of a young 18-year-old person brought his dead body. They were crying and shouting with sorrow. The youth also died of snake bite. I informed that Swami was in Yoga Samadhi and that they should bury the body in accordance with the orders of Swami. The devotees there informed the visitors that my friend also died in a similar manner and that his body was also buried following the orders of Swami. The distressed people became crestfallen and were blaming their misfortune in many ways. Under the unavoidable conditions, they buried the new youth. Every day, 3 or 4 people used to visit Swami. They used to see Swami, who was in a state of samadhi in a calm manner and were leaving without any disturbance. 10 days passed like this. On the 11th day, in the Brahmi Muhurta, Sri Palniswami became fully conscious and called for Madhava. I narrated to him all that happened, sobbing and crying. Then Sri Palniswami consoled me and looked at me with his yogic power. That yogic look caused a great movement in my spinal cord and created an unbearable pain. Sri Palniswami saw me again with placid looks. My pain disappeared. He said, "My dear Madhava does not have the fortune of seeing Sri Vallabha with his physical body for the last 10 days. His subtle body is in Kurvapuram in the presence of Sri Pada. His desire is fulfilled irrespective of what had happened. The sportive plays of Sri Vallabha are unimaginable. No one can comprehend the mysteries of time, fate and causes. That is possible only for Sri Pada. Sri Pada has entrusted me with the responsibility of introducing life of Madhava into his gross body. We must perform that task immediately." What more did I want than Madhava regaining his life? We came to the place where Madhava was buried. The corpse was exhumed. I was assisted by two other persons. Sri Palaniswami asked us to move towards a group of palmyra trees on the southern side and cry aloud, "O King Cobra that had beaten Madhava, it is ordered that you should come to the presence of Sri Palaniswami. This is the command of Sri Pada Sri Vallabha." We followed the instruction of Sri Palaniswami carefully. Sri Palaniswami took 4 tiny seashells from his loincloth. They were placed on 4 sides of the corpse. After some time, they rose from the ground to some height. Afterwards, they flew into the sky speedily in 4 directions, making a flittering sound. Later, we saw a hissing cobra crawling on the ground. That snake was very restless. The 4 seashells of Sri Palaniswami were fixed as if glued on its hood. Sri Palaniswami asked the snake to remove the poison from the body of Madhava. The snake sucked out the poison from the point in the body where it had bitten Madhava, chanting the name of Sri Pada Sri Vallabha. Sri Palaniswami sprinkled water charged with a mantra on the snake. The snake kissed at the feet of Sri Palaniswami, circumambulated thrice and retreated peacefully. Part 4. The good results earned by offering food to devotees of Datta. Sri Palaniswami said, "The serpent was a female in a previous life. She became old. She had some sin and also some virtue. Once she offered some food to a Brahmin who was a devotee of Datta. It is the nature of Datta to be pleased easily. The lady went to Yamaloka after her death. Yamaloka Raja asked her, 'You have earned some sin and some merit. As you offered food to a Brahmin who was a Datta devotee, you received very great benefit. At present, Sri Dattatreya lives in the human world in the form of Sri Pada Sri Vallabha. He ordered us to make changes in your account of your merit and sin, so that you gain great merit and take less sin." So Chitragupta, who keeps a record of deeds, made changes in your account. Do you want to experience the results of sin at first or enjoy the happiness of merit? For this she replied that she would like to undergo at first the suffering on account of the small amount of sins, and that she would enjoy the life resulting from merit later. Therefore she took birth as a snake on this earth. As she had a mentality of harming others, she was biting all those who crossed her way. So she was accumulating more seed. My dear, there are 4 classes of snakes. The first type of snakes will not harm anyone but simply take air as food and live like yogis. The second type of snakes will kill those whose shadow falls on them. They become angry when the shadow of anyone falls on them. The third class of serpents will try to keep away from the view of humans. They run away with fear if any person comes face to face with them. The fourth class of snakes will take a revengeful attitude against anyone and bite him even though no harm is caused to them by the person concerned. That lady was filled with rajas, so it beat Madhava who came nearby. She had beaten him because of the merit earned in the previous birth. Madhava lost his life because of sin earned in his previous life. By the grace of Sri Pada Sri Vallabha, that old woman was liberated from her serpent life and attained a higher world. As an embryo, the jiva lies in the form of a serpent in the fetus stage on account of Naga dosha. Mortality of children takes place. The man loses the ability to give birth to a child. The woman loses her ability to get impregnated with the soul. This is seen as the negative effect of Nagadosha.